you get a general guide of what is going to happen in the following weeks. How is the training going to be like? What are the modules that you have to study? Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. So today I have a question. I asked on the platform what would be some of the questions regarding being a flight attendant in the Middle East, what would be interesting to discuss about, and I had one reply only. Someone saying they wanted to join EK, which is Emirates, and they had a couple of questions. They wanted to know what is the training like, where do we live and what we do here, like activities, like food and drinks. There are some restrictions about alcohol, about eating pork, and so the person says he was very curious about the uniform and self-care standards as well as benefits the airline offers. So I wanted to try to reply to this person in the format of a video. So I'll be answering question by question. And I will ask you to also leave your comments and your questions below if you have any. So the first one is, what is training like? So training usually lasts about 1.5 months. You have an induction day where you basically get to know each other, introduce yourselves. I think first few days, not sure if it was safety already, but at least 2-3 days you are taking care of visa, you are taking care of medical checks. That's very important. They do your medical checks, without which you cannot apply for your cabin crew license. And after you do the checks and you take care of the visa, if everything is fine, then you proceed and you continue your training. So first you start with safety. You study the safety manual that we have for the aircrafts and safety procedures that we have to know for our job. After the safety, which lasts about 1 month and a week, then you have a last week just for the service, and in that week that's when you actually get to try your uniform, because it means you already passed the most important part, the safety wise. So you already done all your exams regarding the aircraft, safety equipment, safety procedures, security, everything. You've done all of that. So now you're going to do the service training, which means you're going to know what are the standards for service, because this is a big part of what we do in our job, just serving on board, right? So you're going to know how it works, because it's not just, you just don't get there and start working without knowing. It's a very demanding job, and you have to be quick, and you have to know what the company, what is the brand, what is the service that the company wants to offer. So this is how the training is divided. You have the induction where you take care of documents, health checks, medical checks. Then you have safety related training and exams. And after that you have the service training. Regarding the training, safety is, we have practicals, of course. You practice evacuation, emergency scenarios, everything. And then obviously you also have a more theoretic component where you have to answer some questions in the iPad that they provide you on the exam day. And usually I think it's 1 exam per week, if I remember well. So 1 exam per week regarding each part of the course, and then in the end you have the service training, which is obviously more practical. And where I live, so our company provides several accommodations throughout the city. When I came to Abu Dhabi, I used to live in a building in Dream Island, which is very far from the airport, but it's a very nice area. Later on they moved us to closer to the airport, which I really like, even though it's not like in terms of life, it's not so amazing, this particular area. You have Yas Island, which is very close by and has great bars and discos and, well, nightlife. You have Formula 1, you have Yas Water World, all the parks, entertainment, and you have a very big mall if you'd like to. Best thing is you are like 10 minutes away from your job, get your pickup, and in 10 minutes you'll be at your job, which is great. Before, when I used to live in the city, I used to take like 40 minutes at least to get here. And I remember on my first operational flight, actually I forgot one of my uniform items, and I still had 1 hour for the briefing, though I couldn't go back because I had 1 hour to go and come back, and because I was living in the city, it would take me at least 1 hour and a half at least to go and come back, so I couldn't do it. And I had to get another hat on the first day. Now, regarding about what is there to do in Abu Dhabi, there are lots of things to do in Abu Dhabi. Maybe a lot of people think that, oh, it's very hot, it's very dry, it's the desert, there's not much to do, there's a lot of restrictions. That is not true. Abu Dhabi and Dubai have a lot of things that you can do. For example, I like to wake surf, I like to do diving, and these kind of things, water sports, are an amazing option here, especially when it's so hot outside that the only thing you want to do is just jump in the water and just do something to cool down. So I would say going to the beach is amazing. You can go to the beach in between June and September, but it might be very hot for you. If you go throughout the rest of the year, if you go during the months of, let's say, February to May and June, maybe, and like from September, October till December, you can still really enjoy very nice days. And even the winter here is not super cold. It gets a bit chill at night, but it's not like you cannot go out or you have to wear a big coat with a scarf and hat, gloves. You don't have to do that. I would say the winter here is more like a spring season for the Europeans or Americans, kind of thing. And there's a lot of water sports. You have entertainment parks, amusement parks. If you have a lot of options, you can always go to Dubai. They have ski there. They have clubs. It all depends on what you like to do. If you like to paint, there are clubs of people, groups of people that organize themselves and paint. There is roller skating. There's a very big community of roller skaters in Abu Dhabi, and they gather around pretty much every week, from hiking to being quiet. I don't know. Yoga is a big thing in Abu Dhabi as well. It's very easy to find a club to do yoga or private classes outdoors. Really, there's so many things you can do here. You can do skydive if you want to go a little bit more extreme. I don't know, it all depends on what you like to do. You have running as well, you have badminton, you have tennis, paddle is also becoming a big thing. Cycling, there's usually every year, I think around the winter time, because it's the best season to be outdoors, there's always a marathon, and I know there's always like cycling and roller skate competitions outdoors where you can gather and do something. And there's also Spartan. I don't know if you all know about this. It's like a very big challenge worldwide, and very interesting actually. It's very challenging and it's awesome. You go to the desert and you do like this kind of running, climbing, every sort of things, obstacles, Regarding foods and drinks. I would say I'm very happy as well. The prices are not that different from Europe, and I don't find any restrictions really. When I came here, you used to need to have a license for alcohol, which is not the case anymore. You don't need a license anymore, as long as you are above 18, I believe, 18 or 21 maximum, I would say. You can pretty much find alcohol in a lot of restaurants and nightlife, clubs, bars. You can have a beer, you can have champagne, whatever you want in the disco club, and it's not that restrictive actually. I mean, locals, people who are Muslims, of course they are not drinking, because according to their religion it's not good and it's not allowed. But Europeans, other expats, they drink anytime basically you want. You don't find alcohol in the supermarket, but you can find it in the specific shops, liquor stores, I would say. Is it called liquor store? You have several brands across the city. It's not that difficult to find. You can just look for the Spinneys or some other brands, some other shops. They will sell alcohol. Regarding the pork meat, you can also find it, but I'm not particularly craving or missing it, to be honest, so I don't usually buy it here in Abu Dhabi. I've bought it in a few times, but it's not something that I feel like, oh, I cannot live without pork meat, so I don't usually do it. But you can find it in the supermarket. There's a specific area in the supermarket usually called non-Muslim area, I think, and you can find there products made of pork that are obviously imported into the country. and that you can purchase. I think they might be a little bit more expensive than buying beef, for example, or lamb or chicken, because they are not produced here, so they have to be imported, and obviously that has higher costs of importation, but you don't need necessarily to acquire them in the supermarket. If you are a flight attendant, I'm sure you're going to have many opportunities to eat pork abroad, and you don't feel like your life will be so restricted. So regarding the uniform, obviously the uniform is provided by the company. So the uniform, the trolley and the suitcase that you use for your job, obviously they provide a set of pieces. You have your hat, the scarf, blouses. What else? You have a skirt. You can choose between skirt and trousers for women. You have a beauty bag as well. It's very nice to keep your documents, your makeup, anything you need, like small items that you usually might need, your phone. What else? You have your shoes, of course. The only thing you need to buy is, obviously you need to have a watch, not this type, but more like a classic watch. You cannot have Apple Watch or this kind of smart watches. So you need to buy a watch, you need to buy your stockings, your socks if you are a man, and your makeup, obviously. And this is pretty much it regarding the uniform. Okay, self-care. Self-care, I would say, obviously you need to try to take care of your appearance. If you are a woman, or even if you are a man, you should have your nails taken care of. If you are a man, you don't use nail polish. If you are a woman, you have to have there's a certain standard for nail polish that you must use for the uniform. Of course, during your days off, you can paint it red, you can paint it purple, whatever. You can do anything during your time off or your leave time. But when you go, when you are with the uniform, there are certain standards regarding the makeup, regarding the nails and the hair. Of course, you have to respect those, and if you want, I can teach you some tips, and I can share with you some of the standards that we have for our uniform at the moment. But that's pretty much it. Of course, you cannot be overweight, you cannot be super skinny, you have to be on the health side. Let's say your BMI must be on the average, so on the healthy side, I would say, of the scale. Just take care of yourself, that's it. There's nothing very particular. You don't have to go for expensive massage, you don't have to go for expensive facials, you don't have to use expensive things for your teeth, I don't know. But of course, like, you have to take care of your appearance. As long as you have a normal, I would say, normal skin, you have your teeth are well taken care of, like you don't have any cavities and things like that might look ugly on your appearance, then you have nothing to worry about. Just do your normal as every day. Just do your makeup before the job, take care of your nails, put your hair in a bun or something, and you're good to go. I don't know if there are any other questions. Okay, probably one of the most important questions, and I just remembered now, and I'll leave it to the end. Salary. Salary wise, is it affordable to live here in Abu Dhabi? Yes, it is. It is very affordable. I find the salary here is still much better than the salary I would find in Europe, for example. I think we make around, I would say average is like 10,000 dirhams, and let me check how much that is in dollars. So $22,722 in Filipino pesos, that would be 150,000 Filipino pesos. Australian dollars, that's like 4,000 Australian dollars per month, and I think it's quite good. I mean, I don't spend my whole salary, not even close to that, and I have my car, I'm doing my studies, and I still manage to save and invest my money, so I'd say it's pretty good. Like, if you live in the company accommodation, you are provided, of course you are provided the accommodation, so with the housing you don't need to pay electricity, water, air conditioning, you don't need to pay anything in the house except for internet. Internet, I would say, it's probably the most expensive thing you're gonna have, like, recurrently in UAE, and it's a bit expensive actually. You can pay for around $100, I think, for every month, but to be honest, I'm not paying that because I live with my flatmate and we share the Wi-Fi, and then we decided we would share with our neighbors, so we divided by 4 and it becomes very, very cheap. I think I pay at the moment 110 dirhams, which will be, let's say, 28 euros, which is very normal to have Wi-Fi and TV at home, and very nice. And I think that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this very basic random video, and and I hope if you have more questions, don't hesitate, just ask, okay? And thank you very much, have a good day, and I see you next time.